Guys, welcome back to another video, and today I'm going to be doing another rant. This one was pretty much inevitable at this point since I already did one on Frozen 2 fan. It would only make sense to do one on Nick Hicks too. And I know that this is long overdue. I was actually planning to do this all the way back in May, but the main reason why it just took so long is because it's really hard to gather footage from his videos, not only because literally it's just the poster, but it's also just the fact that his videos are really boring and kind of hard to sit through. This video is not meant to send hate towards Nick Hicks or to make fun of him. This is just mainly constructive criticism. I mean, unlike Frozen 2 fan, I don't actually hate Nick Hicks. I mean, yeah, he has done some pretty questionable things I will get into, but I feel like at least most of those things are fueled by Frozen 2 fan. I don't advise sending hate towards Nick Hicks because, like I said, this is constructive criticism and not meant to hate on anyone. Without further ado, let's get started. There's really no other way to put this other than the fact that he's a weirdo. In this video on the screen, I actually mentioned how he had a striptease video in one of his best videos ever playlists. But there's more to it than just that. Let's just take a look at his old Twitter account. Here is Grace Randolph as female golden stripper from Guardians of the Galaxy the show reboot, only on FX networks. I think just from this image you can already see everything wrong with this man, but trust me, it gets much worse. Look at 8 Grace Randolph, she looks so hot with the lipstick, I really want to kiss her so badly. So as you can kind of tell, he has a really weird Grace Randolph obsession, and you know, maybe that's fine, you know, having real life crushes, as long as, you know, it doesn't go too far. Listen, 8 Grace Randolph, I turned grown up, you and me going to kiss so badly, just like this, hashtag 50 Shades of Grey. Look, having a crush on Grace Randolph is one thing, but literally tagging her multiple times and talking about how much you want to fuck her is a whole nother thing. I honestly bless Frozen 2 fan because it wasn't for him, he'd probably still be simping over Grace Randolph. Unfortunately, it doesn't end there. In one of Nick Hicks' very recent videos, he said something very interesting about young Raya from Raya and the Last Dragon.
And young Raya could actually for a young girl. So anyway.
Yes, it is true. Nick Hicks, a 19, hell, about to be 20-year-old man, simps for what is, I'm assuming, a 12-year-old character in a Disney movie. I think you already understand why that is wrong in literally every single way, but trust me, it gets worse because in this very same video, he also talks about how he simps for a minor.
Caitlyn mature, she's pretty sexy, and
So first of all, Nick Hicks already admits that he wants to fuck Grace Randolph, even though I'm assuming she's like 30 or something like that. But on top of having a huge boner for Elsa and Anna, thanks to Frozen 2 fan, he also has a boner for 2 underage cartoon characters. And trust me, that's not where it ends. In a deleted Instagram post, he made a post sexualizing Gwen Stacy from Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, who is a minor. And his friends didn't even tell him that this was wrong at all. They were just saying, oh my god, so hot. But it still doesn't end there. Very recently, on his new Twitter account, he replied to some very interesting fan art. Now, I'm not gonna show the actual images for obvious reasons, but just by looking at the ship name Elsa Anna, I think that already implies what this is. Yet the only thing Nick Hicks is worried about is the rating of this comic. I could list a lot of other examples, but I think we should just move on to our next point. Now, Nick Hicks clearly does not like horror movies, specifically the most recent Saw movie, Spiral from the Book of Saw. Now, it's perfectly fine if he doesn't like the movie. I mean, I know plenty of other people who didn't like it. However, what the problem is that he won't shut up about how much he hates it. And honestly, I kinda doubt he's even seen the movie. He's clearly only hating it just because it has a lot of gore in it. He made a reaction video to the opening scene of the movie that was released online, which is kind of weird considering how his channel is supposed to be family friendly, but whatever. The video was just pretty much him complaining about how scary it looked or how not scary it looked, but also about its gore or whatever. He complained that the movie was really disturbing, even though that's the whole point of the Saw franchise. And if the movie is disturbing, that's kind of a good thing because that's the whole point of the Saw franchise. Now, I'm not trying to stop him from hating horror movies. I mean, if you don't like horror movies and they're not your thing, that's fine. But if you don't like horror movies, then why do you continue to watch them if you know you won't be able to handle them? And at the end of the video, he said he was going to make a rant on the movie before it even came out. He even did a sneak peek of his rant a whole day before the movie came out, not to mention how he already scheduled his extreme rant on the movie. Pretty much already proving that there's absolutely no way he could have watched the movie, so why did he literally make a rant on it if he hasn't even watched it? I haven't even seen the rant, but I'm willing to bet his only points that he made throughout the entire video was that it's scary or it's disturbing. It's hard to even take his spiral hate boner seriously when he hasn't even watched the movie, as he literally exposed himself. He has such a hate boner for it that he literally made an unnecessary video complaining that it was going to head to stars, like every movie does. Oh, boo-hoo, a movie that you don't like is heading to a streaming service like pretty much every other movie does. And it's not like they're even forcing you to watch it, like you literally have a choice to watch it or not, which is the same thing with this movie that you knew you were going to hate from the opening clip, so why would you even bother quote-unquote watching it? And yeah, he's continued to mention Spiral so many different times to the point where he's planning to do a redo rant on it in October. He doesn't just stop with Spiral, he also complains about other horror movies. He also wouldn't shut up about Freaky for a while, of course, until Spiral came out. He made a video, my reaction to Freaky 2021 bloody gory scene, which is just Ryan Griffin from Family Guy throwing up. First of all, I'd argue that Freaky is more so of a comedy anyways, but whatever. Same thing with Spiral. If you don't like the movie, then just don't watch it. Or even if you've already watched it, then just don't talk about it. Don't make like 30 different videos talking about a movie you knew you weren't gonna like and you obviously don't like. It's kind of hypocritical because him and Frozen 2 fan both believe that Inside won't shut up about Frozen 2 even though he's literally barely mentioned it, but whatever. But yet they won't shut up about Freaky or Spiral, or more so Nick Hicks than Frozen 2 fan. If you don't like gore, you can't handle gore, that's fine, but just don't watch the movie then. Recently, he started hitting on this one horror movie called Cooties, and then my friend Connor, not me, Connor, made a response to him basically talking about how he's biased towards horror movies, which is a really good point. And then Nick Hicks somehow mistaked this for me, even though in the letterbox comment it literally says the name. And Ben basically got pissed on his Instagram of how I'm a man baby or how he doesn't like gore stuff. And like, sure, if you don't like gore, that's fine. But why are you watching, or I mean ranting on it? Horror movies aren't for everyone, I understand that. But if you know you can't handle it, then why are you even watching it in the first place? Now let's move on to the next point. Nick Hicks just makes terrible content. I really don't know how else to put it. He's made nearly 700 videos since November, and I cannot name a single one of them that is at least slightly good. Well, what kind of content does Nick Hicks make exactly? Nick Hicks makes content like movie reviews, DVD unboxings, trailer reactions, why I won't watch, and Toon style cast videos. If you want to know what exactly is wrong with these videos, look no further than the runtime. Some of them are way longer than they need to be, and some of them are just way shorter, and then some of them are just flat out useless. A very good example is Nick Hicks doing an entire video about how he got Knives Out on DVD and doing a 10-minute DVD unboxing video. He also makes videos like my reaction to, or a message to, or my personal favorite, my reaction to Pozo treating me like I'm a bad YouTuber. He also makes videos spreading false information, like saying that Gal Gadot is going to leave the DCEU, and his only proof of this was from a We Got This Covered article, aka one of the most reliable sources out there. Also making videos saying that DVDs are officially dead forever when they're not, and his only proof of this was that a family video near him was shutting down. Now let's talk about these movie reviews themselves. They are really bad. Nick Hicks clearly has a good editing software because he knows how to edit clips and stuff, but he just chooses to make his reviews so lazy. He just records them off of a photo in his photo library and doesn't even add them into the editing software like normal people do. His reviews themselves are just so boring. He doesn't make a single good point throughout any of them, and it's clear how unscripted they are because he repeats himself sometimes and sometimes stutters and goes off script. No, I don't really have a problem with him stuttering, like, that's fine, but, like, when you clearly have a good edit software, you can do, like, multiple different takes, like, you don't have to do just the first take. What could also help is writing a script for this, or at least having some sort of structure throughout the review. Otherwise, it just makes them really boring. It's also funny when you can tell he hasn't even seen the movie, so he just reads the plot off of Wikipedia.
So, base part is about Officer K, played by Ryan Gosling, a new Blade Runner for the Los Angeles police department unearthed a long burned secret 2014. Got the part ready, we're gonna make it quick because let's get the part, shall we? Alright, base part is about in the future, a golden cop blending into a dull ball. A slowly has to pay for it. So I watched this movie on Peacock, and no joke, after I watched this movie on Peacock, it was a stupid commercial for no reason. So I just watched 3 part of it, so I didn't watch the full one. So I watched it. I watched it all the way. And what did I think about this movie?
If you're going to do a movie review, can you actually watch the movie you're talking about? Or better yet, can you at least make the review itself entertaining or interesting, or at least write some sort of script for it? It just makes the review way longer than it needs to be, and it just makes you feel like you wasted your time while watching it. Anyways, let's talk about some other stuff before we get to the conclusion. I don't really think I have to explain this. Nick Hicks also makes these toon style things on Instagram, and unsurprisingly they're all terrible. First of all, there's not really much of a point to them anyways because they literally just mean nothing. They're literally just taking an image of the characters and pretending like they're a character from a different movie. But they're also so inconsistent because sometimes they have live action characters, and even sometimes they have YouTubers who are clearly not fictional characters. And a lot of the times the characters don't even fit with each other, so it'll just feel like a completely random match. Yeah, these toon styles are really pointless. What do you think of my Tiana x Elsa ship? It's like chocolate x vanilla. No racist comments. Yeah, say something that sounds sort of racist, but then also say don't send any racist comments. All of his thumbnails have Anna and Elsa in it. He also used to make a lot of Frozen 2 trailer styles. And even in his videos that aren't even related to Frozen 2, he'll find some way to bring Anna and Elsa into there because, oh my god, I can't disappoint Frozen 2 fan. Anyways, this is just extra stuff that I couldn't really fit into its own bit. Now it's time to get to the conclusion. I don't really have too much else to say about Nick Hicks that I haven't already said in this video. He definitely has a lot of problems that are and aren't Frozen 2 fans' fault, but I wouldn't say he's as bad as him, obviously. But yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say about him, and thank you guys all so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like and subscribe. And Nick Hicks, I know you're probably watching this, and I know the response to this isn't going to be very kind, so if there is some sort of response on Instagram or whatever, I will be doing a response to that in return. So, see you guys later, I guess.